So I'm out here by my house in this dilapidated mall. Whoever owns the mall runs a slumlord job type mall. There was a pothole by Starbucks years ago that was huge. And I talked to the manager, and finally the manager went up to their corporate. And I told her, go up to your corporate, have your regional call the owner of the mall and inform him of his violation of his contract, his duty, and get the pothole fixed. And what happened? She took my advice and they fixed the pothole. The owner of this mall is a scumbag. But also, just to let you know, and this is how I view things, that Clarence, the kid I stood up for, Clarence was slow. But he was mentally slow, but he was quiet, he was reserved, he sometimes had a runny nose, but not all the time. That was the only thing that he had that was a little bit annoying. But he was unbelievably respectful, quiet, reserved, highly respectful. And he would get people would attempt to beat him up. And I would threaten them. And then if they went towards him, like Nikki, who attacked him in the bathroom, I beat the shit out of him in the bathroom. But I had to kick the shit out of many kids. My bodyguard at Lane Tech, well, I was his bodyguard. His parents didn't know. But, again, I protected him. He had nothing that he deserved to be beaten. He was righteous, quiet, reserved, and so on. Now I'm here with a kid at Starbucks who has long hair, he has color in his hair, he's annoying. You gotta change. If you get your ass kicked, that's on you. I'm not standing up for you. You're an annoying little fucking piece of shit. So if somebody kicks the shit out of you, I'm not going to be running and protecting you. Because you do everything to poke the bear. Poke the bear. Poke the bear. Why would I protect you who goes about purposely poking the bear? So I'm in Starbucks, and let's go to this. The client, me, I ask him for a straw. Now, I go in there all the time. Everybody knows I'm the one a straw with my drink. Even him before, I want a straw with my drink. So I get my drink, and he gives it to me, and I tipped him 10%. That's the standard for to-go orders. And he closes the window on me. And I said, can I have a straw? He's looking right towards me. He closes the window and walks away. So I have to sit there. And then he comes back to me and he lies to me. He says, oh, I didn't hear you. And my response is bullshit. You didn't hear me. I spoke clearly, I spoke up, and you closed the window on me and turned your back and walked away. So, where are these pieces of garbage getting punished? But I can do everything perfectly, and I get punished, and I get to drive around with the LGBTQ rights, and then this piece of garbage here. He's not like the freaks. They wanted to play music in their own place. They weren't coming into my Starbucks bringing their freakoidness in. So, again, I say my Starbucks, I picked that corner property before anything. I even told Dunkin' Donuts before the Starbucks moved in, years before, they should take the corner property. But they didn't, and then funny thing is, years later, somebody put a Starbucks there, and I laughed. I'm like, well, that's what I said. Either a Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks right there. But the whole thing is, these people get away with it. And I go through breakdowns, and I have to be at MetLife for work, and I'm supposed to meet people in jacket and tie and everything, and I got nothing. And I'm clean shaven, I have a jacket, a tie, and slacks that are cleaned. My shirt is pressed. And what did I do? I got wrinkle-free things. And then I used to have to go into Ross's over and over and over again. And this is on Fullerton. They had a clearance rack. So you go in the door of Ross's, or is it Marshall's? One of the two. And you go in the door right there on Fullerton, and you go to the left, and you got to go to the rack, and they have different suits and suit jackets. Not many, meaning, they have a few, and you have to go back. I had to go back numerous times, so I made it daily going in and checking the rack. And then eventually a jacket would come up in my size. And then I would go on for a period of time, and this is months. And then eventually a jacket would come up my size. Now, they could notify you if you put item in stock and then request if comes in, please put on hold for me. And then you get 24 hours to purchase the item. So they can set up the system that way. But then again, you're not going in every day. But they do get the sales, and it clears right out, and they don't find it from another source, per se. But again, these people, you hold them up as your kings and idols. The people that do everything to break the law, to cause disharmony, to cause destruction, to alienate everybody, to go against the trend. Do you do that in class? So you have a classroom structure, and the teacher, you got to raise your hand, and then when pointed to, and the teacher will signal you to put your hand down. He waves with his arm out and palm facing down, and he moves his front of his fingers up and down, telling you put your hand down. Not right now. But again, what if we didn't have that order in a classroom? How do you learn? And I had pranksters in my classrooms who I disciplined, and they stopped doing practical jokes in the class. Now, it is good to break things up and add comic relief, but shouldn't the teacher do it? Like, Mr. Piazzi, since you like to do jokes, why don't you come up to the front of the class and tell the class a joke or do something funny and make it into their ability to go up and entertain the class as comic relief to take some stress off. That way they don't act out during the class. And the teacher stays in control and you stay on agenda. And Mr. Piazzi, I'll be calling on you every so often to come up here and do a joke or a funny gesture or tell a funny story to the class. But in turn, Mr. Piazzi, you need to stay quiet and focused on the content in the other times, and don't disturb other students in their concentration. So I'll give you your couple minutes of fame every so often, and you can step up in front of the class and do your thing. So give them an outlet and use that outlet to make the class and the learning experience better, and use that as a teaching point. Like if you have people that are at Burger King and they like to be jokesters. Well, we're slow right now and Sidework's pretty good. Feel free to tell a couple jokes or do something funny with the cup and straw. Truly. I did this on Christmas Eve at Baja. There was no customers. We have to stay open. We have a contract with the public. So no matter the weather, we were open. No matter the weather, it could be the greatest blizzard, our doors never closed. We were open from the time he said to the time we closed. Contract with the public. We didn't close early. So what did I do? I got us Bill Murray Scrooge. I put down the screens and then got us rollerblades. Not inline skates, but rollerblades. And I forget where I got these from. And we could rollerblade around, watch the movie, and I did let them have 1 or 2 shift drinks, beers. And I turned it into a Christmas Eve party. And I told the staff, what about the patrons? If they come in, what do we do? I'm like, just invite them into the party and I'll comp their drinks. So don't worry if somebody comes in, because I guarantee you no one is. But if they do, they can join the party. And no one came in. And we ended up closing at 4 a.m. Not a single body came in. And we had everything broken down and cleaned. And so once we closed the doors, truly, I pulled the register and everything else and basically got out by 4:30 in the morning myself. Everybody was gone by 4. And I cut it down to 1 bartender and me. Think 1 doorman, 1 bartender, and me, or did I send the doorman home and did the bartending? I sent the doorman home and I did the door security. Meaning I didn't stand at the door, but if somebody came in, I would have carted them and so on. But the whole point is, they have to be there. We have to be open, but we don't have to have much staff. And for the staff there, we made it fun. We accomplished some things, and we enjoyed the time. So, I don't like these people. These people are pure agitators. And they want Starbucks to accept their hair and their piercings and all their shortcomings. And that means Starbucks has no standards when it comes to hiring. Starbucks has no standards when it comes to hiring. So when they turn somebody away because they say, well, you don't have the look, Starbucks can now be sued because piercings are good, tattoos are good, tongue piercings are good, hair coloring's good, wearing a skirt is good. Like Sid, the guy, said he was Irish or something, or Scottish, and he wore a kilt. Now, Starbucks made standards for its whole corporation that it has no standards at the corporate level. Somebody comes in, they're not wearing a suit and tie. Well, you can't have that. You said, I can wear my hair anywhere I want. I can color it anywhere I want. I can have any forms of piercing or tattoos. So you can't restrict me. You have these people working here. Just like I did at Baja. When I made the rules up, I said, to clients, I gave them a sheet, the ones I turned away, and I said, you can walk in with a doorman around the whole club, and if you find anyone violating any of the rules on these sheets, I will let you stay, and I will eat my words. And they would walk around the whole club with the doorman. Not all of them took the offer, but some did, and they walk around the whole club. Not one person breaking the rules on that sheet. Everybody in there was compliant with the rules. If not, I have to let them in. And it was an exception to the rule. So I didn't. Not a single one of them ever got in. Not once. So I'll put this on my Tumblr, meaning not this video, but about this culture.